इतना सा फर्क है कुछ होने में और बहुत कुछ होने में। इतना सा फर्क है एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में ये अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी। ये एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानपुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और 7वें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा है। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया, 20 years of ideas.
A very good afternoon to all the dear friends. We welcome all of you to Bharat Franchise Show. It's India's biggest multi-brand franchise show. We are showcasing some of the exclusive brands for you. These are the emerging business opportunities which represent different verticals as well as portfolios like healthcare, education, service, and whatnot. And this is the webinar which is bringing investor and business owners, entrepreneurs on a one platform. Welcome all our brands representatives, leadership team. We also welcome management team of Franchise India, Gaurav Sir and Sunema. Particular webinar is hosted by them. They'll be taking all your queries. We also welcome our regional head from Bombay, Mr. Vikas. So may I request Sunema to please start with the address from our side.
Thank you so much, Arshna. Friends, a very good afternoon to all of you, and I welcome you all to the Bharat Franchise Show, Sunday edition. This is a virtual franchise show where we bring to you opportunities based on industry, format, investment. And over the last 2.5 decades, our company Franchise India has played a very important role in being a catalyst in the franchise industry, and hence always believed and acted in the manner that could boost the spirit of entrepreneurship through responsible franchising. And through our webinars and physical events, the idea was to actually democratize the entire knowledge base, and in turn empowering prospective business buyers like yourself with knowledge to take an informed, responsible decision of buying a business. So, a little bit on franchising, friends, and, ever since we have launched these series, we feel we are able to reach out to a bigger audience than we could through our physical events. And as I speak today also, we have almost, more than 4 cities. Being a Sunday, we have a show which is happening in Delhi. We have an event happening in Ahmedabad, Nagpur, Gulbarga. So any of you who have joined from these locations, I would also encourage friends, all of you, to also attend our event. In case you need more details, you can also reach on the hotline number of Franchise India, and we'll send you the invitation for today's events. So while franchising, creates a lot of intelligent synergies because it brings the combined strength of the franchisor, the company, and equally the franchisee, the business buyer, you, because you're operating the business. And both the stakeholders would collaborate with each other to make the business model sustainable. And while franchising cuts across every industry, this morning, I was speaking to some of the investors who actually are coming to the show and say, what is the good industry? What is the new business which have come in? And and sometimes it's very difficult to say this industry or that industry, and this is something I come across every time when I speak to investors. So I would say it cuts across every industry, and we all would agree that we have seen successful franchise companies across all sectors, whether that's food, whether that's retail, whether that's wellness, education, services. We have seen successful companies, but what is most important is that you all need to understand what is right for you, your right fitment, which means based on the interest, the experience, maybe the finances that you have, and also the time involvement that you have in the business. And equally important, you all need to understand the risk reward analysis of the business that you choose. So we'll present you, friends, a couple of opportunities today, and you have all the time to, and we have all decision makers who are present on the platform today. And you have a Q&A box at the bottom. Any questions that you have on the business industry at large, please go ahead and use the Q&A box to answer or question. And before we do that, and I introduce our first panel member, I'll request all of you, friends, if you can put the cities that you come from. I see a lot of audience still joining in. If you can just take a moment to just put in the Q&A box what cities that you come from, we would all know. And if you're looking at something specifically, do mention retail, food, apparel, footwear, whatever comes in your mind. So guys, go ahead and please write what cities that you come out and use that in the Q&A box. We'll read that out for you. And while you do that, I'll also take this opportunity of bringing our first panel member. We have Mr. Ketan, who is heading the business at Rento Mojo. And friends, Rento Mojo is an asset management company which has been running successful and profitable venture across India. And it also has attracted investments from the likes of Bain Capital Ventures, Excel, to the tune of 600 crores in the last I would say six odd years since their inception. And some of the big names also in the financial industry, who are on the board of advisors of the company, have also lended their trust, and that shows the credibility of the company. So what Rento Mojo has done is they have solved a very big problem. And if you look at the assets that we use at home, furniture that we use at home, depreciation of asset that we use at a home is so high that the end consumer don't want to actually buy these products for short duration. And especially a lot of immigrants which move out to cities for jobs, they don't want to buy furniture. They're looking at solutions which can be 6 months, 1 year, or whatever that duration is. So rental comes as a very big rescue for a lot of this migrating working population, I would say. And it's a very big industry globally, and equally a very big industry in India. And today, since we are living in an era of sharing economy, or maybe an excess economy, as I would put it. So this particular industry or a business, I would say this has actually disrupted, this industry has actually disrupted many mature industries, such as hotels, where Airbnb has come, automobiles, where Ola, Uber have come, and they're providing customers with a lot of convenience, and not only that, but cost efficient, access to resources. So with this, I'd like to formally invite Mr. Ketan. He's the people head at Rento Mojo, and we will take you through the business model, friends, and please use the Q&A box for the questions that you need to ask.
Thank you, Sonia, for this introduction, and thank you for having us here. I have Rohan, who heads finance for us. So he is going to take the presentation. I'm actually at the airport.
No.
So I would have wanted to meet, but I
Sure.
couldn't have this meeting.
Sure.
But yeah, Rohan, over to you.
Welcome, Rohan.
Rohan, I'm not able to hear you. Yes, yeah. Rohan, I can see the screen, Rohan, but not able to hear you. I can see you also, but not hear you.
Is it better now?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Thank you.
And thank you, Sonia, for the warm introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this. We have a very exciting proposition for you in terms of from Rento Mojo. So I'll break this up into a couple of 3 broad sections. I'll explain where we are, who we are, and what it is that we have to offer to you. So Rento Mojo is there we go. So Rento Mojo is broadly a furniture and appliance leasing company. We are present across 16 cities, where we provide things like beds, mattresses, sofas, refrigerators, TVs, and so on To customers who are generally looking for renting periods of around 12 to 18 months kind of a period. The idea behind the model came up actually because of the fact that, as everyone is aware, we have a huge migrating population. People are moving from one city to the other. I myself have started my job in Delhi, then moved to Bombay, and now I'm based out of Bangalore. All of this in the last 4 years. So, there are a lot more people like me who are pretty much moving around for either jobs due to marriage, due to better opportunities, or simply just for, maybe a different location. So there's a huge population who's looking to rent out, who's in a renting house, who's renting a house. And ultimately, as you're all aware, most of these houses are pretty much come unfurnished, or the furniture is not up to your taste or standards, due to which we provide the solution of get an unrented or an unfurnished house and rent some furniture from us. Like I said, we are present across 16 cities, with the 8 cities that are mentioned here would be the larger ones, similar to Bangalore, Mumbai, Pune. In terms of our investors, we are backed by largest couple of the largest VCs out there, similar to Axel, Samsung, Bain Capital, who are incredibly large, and they're generally looking at a very large industry. So what we provide generally is a short-term flexible rental solution to a migrating population. That's just to sum it up in 2 words. Where we are today, we have over 200 crores worth of assets under management. We have primarily across these 8 cities a huge variety of assets in terms of across categories. We have serviced around 280,000 plus customers till date, with approximately 80 to 90,000 customers currently live on our platform today. We have also raised a huge amount of equity and debt in terms of 590 crores that we've raised till date, out of which we have pretty much paid back a major chunk of it already. We have a very small amount out of this outstanding from the debt side. One exciting thing that happened to us during COVID was that we have now PAT profitable. So that has been a great turnaround for the company. And going by this, we will continue to be PAT profitable as we move forward. So, like I said, who are we catering to, right? We are catering to the millennial working class professional, generally between the age of around 24 to 30 or 22 to 30. These are people who are generally in their first jobs, who are, not looking to invest capital in terms of one, maybe because generally the ticket size is pretty low, or the other is because they're not too sure whether they're going to stay in a particular city for a very long time. So these are the kind of people who we generally cater to. Apart from this, we do have other customers who maybe have very short-term requirements, that they're requiring a bed for a couple of months while they're moving into some other house, or while there is some renovation going on or something of those sorts. But a primary category is people who are moving for jobs from one city to the other. So how do we do this? How do we provide the solution? We are a completely digital marketplace. We basically acquire customers either through our phone apps that we have, either on Android, iOS, or our web application. We have a quick KYC sort of a check which goes on, where you submit your documents after placing an order, which we will cross-check. We will make sure that we can either deliver to the location, the customer quality is good, and so on and so forth, and then we'll actually deliver the products to the customer. The idea from the time you place your order till the time the delivery comes to your doorstep is around a 2 to 3 day kind of a delivery period that we have. This includes your KYC checks and all in between. Post renting, I mean, it's a pretty simple solution. You get the products delivered to your, which are as good as new. You will rent it out for 12 to 14 months, and then you'll probably, send the furniture back to us. In that case, once it comes back to us, we will do a quick QC. We will sort of refurbish the product and make sure that it's ready for another deployment, so that it is rented out to another customer. We've been operational since 2014. It's been a 7-year journey almost now. And through these periods, we've had a couple of important parts that we wanted to address. The idea is that on paper, ideally, right, redeploying an asset over and over again, obviously would give great returns. But is it a model which actually could work? Now, in the past 7 years, we've been able to prove this model, that we are able to generate around 3 to 3.5x of our sourcing cost over a 5-year period. Just to give you an example, I mean, we bought assets worth around 17 crores in 2017, which have already generated over 50 crores worth of revenue for us. So, and out of these assets, around 70% are still live with us today, and they're still sort of in the ecosystem. So this was a very big learning for us, that we are able, not only theoretically that we can redeploy these assets, but in reality also we've been able to redeploy these assets and actually generate a revenue over and over again through multiple cycles. The other question that we wanted to answer was, how secure is this kind of a customer, right? We are providing a customer these kind of furniture rentals. There are multiple, obviously, risks involved in it in terms of how we provide it. So the way we look at the business is quite simple. We look at it similar to as if we are, providing a loan to someone. So furniture typically costs around, let's say, 10 to 13,000 rupees per us, which we are typically giving to a customer on rent. This is similar to sort of us providing a loan to the customer, right? So, but the beauty of this is there are not only KYC checks in terms of documentation, but we actually physically deliver our products to your doorstep. So we do an address verification also. And ultimately, furniture and appliances are difficult to transport, right? One of the major reasons why people come to us for this solution is because when you're moving, let's say from Bangalore to a Mumbai, right? The transportation cost itself is quite significant, which is why you might not want to do it, right? So in that situation, it is obviously inherent quality of the asset only suggests that it's a very difficult asset to move from one place to the other, which is why initially we had an hypothesis that, credit profiles will actually be low. And this is also, again, one of the things that we've been able to prove now, even during COVID, for example, right? People who, let's say, who wanted to go back home, simply, rather than becoming an NPA, they would just return the products back to us and they would, continue to enjoy the flexibility. So it has been proven that, we are very low on the NPA side, hardly any NPAs that we see in this profiles for the reasons that I mentioned. But that's where we are pretty much at. And the third biggest thing is that in terms of the market opportunity that is there, right? We've seen not only during COVID that people have moved back or people have realized the flexibility that rental offers. If, let's say, people are coming back for a couple of months for jobs and everything, in that case, rental makes a lot more sense, because if you bought the products, one, you'll have to transport them back if you're moving permanently. If not, you'll have to find some storage solutions, or in the worst case scenario, just continue paying rent, which doesn't make sense, right? Rent of your house. So the best solution is that this provides flexibility, and due to which the market has also opened up. And as per a Grant Thornton report, which was recently released, we have the market opportunities over $5 billion right now. That's currently, and it's expected to move to approximately a $15 billion industry in the next 4 years. So having said that, how do we do this entire thing, right? So we have basically raised over 280 crores worth of debt in the last 6-7 years of our existence. We've raised debt from the largest of players in terms of Centrum, Altiria Capital, Innoven, Black Soil. These guys are incredibly large in terms of what they're doing, and they're also very open to startup funding. Out of this 280 odd crores, we have approximately 60 odd crores only remaining as of now. All the other debt has already been repaid. Now, as you can see, I mean, we are catering to a whole host of investor base that we have, or a lender base that we look at. We have people who have, done ticket sizes of 10 crore plus, 2 to 10 crores, 1 to 2 crores, and even less than 1 crore, right? The idea of diversifying this investment base is very clear. It's just that it's coming from an angle that we would like to, help grow the company along with growing with other type of investors that we have. We have ultimately in a couple of years IPO aspirations and all, where we would want to come, back to lenders where we are talking to them and give them an opportunity to sort of get invested early in the Rentomojo story that we have. So, I mean, it's a pretty secure, it's a very good debt repayment history that we've had, which ultimately just goes to show that the business has done well. I mean, we have been in the news quite often now. It's a really great industry to be part of. The Grant Thornton report, like I said, specifically mentions us as one of the leading players in this market. And just to give you a background on who we are, right? Like I said, we are backed by Axel, we're backed by Bain, Chirate. These three together are some of the largest VCs out there. Apart from that, we have mentors from Chris Gopal Krishnan, who was a co-founder at Innovent, Abhishek Dalmia, who is part of Dalmia Industries, and so on, Nitish Mithusan, who is part of Nazara Technologies. Apart from that, the internal team, Gitansh is the founder. He's an IITM graduate who started this 7 years back and started this story because of his previous experiences with Flipkart and Pepperfry. It's a merge of the e-commerce play on the furniture industry. Given these economies of scale that we can see over here, which is why this is ultimately coming. Saurabh is the CEO who handles our operations, been with us for over 5-6 years now. Ketan, like Sonia introduced, is our people head. He's been with the company for close to 2 to 3 years now, and he's ex IDFC and all. And there is Rajshri and myself who are on the who form part of the core team. Coming from there now, what are we proposing over here for you guys, right? So we have an investment opportunity for members of Franchise India, where we are providing sort of an investment model where you invest some money, you get a monthly return on these investments, and ultimately, there is very little sort of operational involvement, or there is close to no operational involvement. This is where you just sit back, put your money and see it grow, right? Let it grow on its own, which helps you put your valuable time into other things that you're doing. So the proposition is very simple. It's a very monthly principal and interest kind of a payout that we provide. There is a 48-month lock-in on the investment. Like I said, there is zero operational engagement from your side. Ultimately, we will, one of the main reasons why we're doing this is to give investors such as yourself preference when it comes to starting an offline store or when it comes to getting into an IPO. We will obviously provide some sort of information in terms of how the business is going forward, so that to give you comfort on your returns or your investment. And ultimately, we are providing some of the best returns out there in the industry right now. So the returns start from around 16 to 20% with a return on investment as high as 77% in some of the cases. So given the 4-year lock-in, right, some of the concerns ultimately are what if something goes wrong. So we've created which is specifically and exclusively for Franchise India customers. It's more from the perspective that if we were to, let's say, delay the payment for 3 consecutive times, you have the right to call back your principal. So, the risk involved in the inherent business itself is very low. But even having said that, just to make sure that there is comfort around what we are providing to the customers, we are providing this kind of a comfort level to you guys. This offer that we have is only valid for Feb 22, whoever invests since Feb 22. And ultimately, this offer is generally valid till around 23rd Feb that we have. So yeah, I'm happy to take any more questions. This is a sort of brief overview that I just wanted to provide. Any specific questions, happy to take them. And if you're definitely interested, please do reach out to your franchise partners.
Thank you so much, Rohan. This was very, very detailed out. And if we can even understand, what are the different kind of investment structures we have, and on an average, what margins overall are we looking at?
Sure. So
I don't think we covered on that, because we have these brackets of 25 lakhs.
Sonia, I'll pitch in. So as I said, we are not putting the table across because there are multiple dimensions. Few people choose bullet payment, few people choose lower interest, and also, as I said, starts with 16% minimum. And looking at the amount and the time, it can go as high as 19-20% per annum. That's the range that we are talking about. As I said, we realize that there are too many models to talk about for people to give answers to everything. So our thought was, if there are interest, because we had just about 15 minutes, we will be happy to take them through. People who are interested, even if it requires a small cohort, and help them understand the entire operational part in detail. That was our thought between me and Rohan.
All right. But if you can just give an example and say somebody invests, say maybe 15 lakhs or 20 lakhs, is there a minimum cap for somebody to look at, or a minimum, starting point for an investment? And if we take that investment and say if somebody invests this is, close to what they get every month. Would you want to comment on that and maybe
Yeah, so
explain briefly?
we, as of now for Feb, as you said, see, we raise, a particular amount every month for the business, and
Yeah.
we have multiple channels. So the timing and the amount becomes important. And we are right now for Feb looking at a minimum 25 lakh. That's the minimum ticket, right? For 25 lakh, typically for a monthly principal and interest both. That's the base combination, which typically gives a return of 33% over 4 years, because the principal is also getting paid. Monthly approx 71-72,000 gets paid to the investor, right? So somebody puts in 25 lakhs for 48 months, they will get 71-72,000 for 48 months. This includes principal and interest, and at the end of 4 years, the relationship, the agreement comes to an end. There is no to and fro or an exchange anything. If I just translate that into, somebody says, okay, I don't want to reduce my principal, I'll take the principal after 4 years only, right? In that case, the interest works to be about anything between 31 to 31,500 per month on that 25 lakh.
Okay.
And the balance 40 lakhs, 40,000 continues to stay with us as the principal. So the overall return over a 4 year period increases, right? Because the principal is not reducing. So
Correct.
on a 25 lakh in the first model, somebody can make about 9.5 lakh. On a 25 lakh in the second model, somebody can easily make about 16.5 lakh over a 4 year period, with the option that they want to choose. But like I said, the timing, the quantum would be extremely important for us to determine what's the exact workability that works on. There are various combinations, so we didn't want to put it here. Hope this helps.
Sure. Absolutely. And then one question which I think, a lot of investors would look at, and there are many asset classes, which any business buyer today or an entrepreneur has maybe a choice to invest in. And if we look at these assets, how do we compare ourselves? And because this is I would say defensive asset class where we don't have too much of risk attached, because the entire risk is taken care by the company and we are giving a fixed return to the investor. But still, if we want to compare, with the other asset classes, how good we are in terms of the return that we are offering less, more, maybe apple to orange, whatever comparison you think is closer to what you want to explain.
Yeah, and Rohan will help me here, but see, we all know what the FDs are giving, right? It's about 5.5% pre-tax, right? So I don't think so there is much to discuss there. And having worked in a bank, I can tell you this is not going to increase in the next 3 to 4 years time. Absolutely not.
Increasing every year.
Yeah, it's reducing. Mutual fund, I think a very good investor typically can make around 10 to 14%, Rohan. I think that's what I hear from market, if people they do. But again, I think the risks are again completely market driven. Here, investors would have an option to get a report, see a visibility, be a part of the journey, and there is far more closeness to what's happening in the business versus me in an IDFC stock where, say, I've worked, so I have confidence there, right? But I have no information apart from what the market is telling, or if I go to mutual fund market. But here, because we are a smaller company and we have one of these trends that we have is engaging with our investors, then this actually works in that favor. So market, I think, at an aggressive level, 10-14% is not doable. Even 18-20% is also doable. I would say that, if, for people who are very good at it. But yeah, I think the amount of effort and the study and everything that somebody has to do versus a plain vanilla approach where somebody is doing it for you, I think that's where the difference would be. And we're not saying we are the best paying in the market, but looking at the risk and the business certainty, we believe this is something very exciting.
So getting very helpful. And friends, I see a lot of questions on the business, what you can invest, what returns. And one thing, maybe just to quickly tell you, this is an investment only model, one-time investment you can make, and the company gives you a fixed return on the investment that you do. They currently have more than 200 crores of assets which are currently under management. So they're sweating out multiple rotations. And like Rohan mentioned, they bought an asset worth 17 crores about 4 years back. And even today, as we speak, all that furniture which has been bought is in a condition which can still be sweated out. And this has given a yield almost 3 times. How many of us who have bought furniture 4 years back can multiply, on that investment? Rather, this is a depreciating asset, and they have actually given a yield which is 3 times, which they've taken. So they have a big arbitrage, which the company has, which is very high. And because this arbitrage is very high, the company is able to give you fixed returns on the investment, and the entire risk is something which the company is absorbing at their end. So the entire asset deployment, logistics, which is a very cumbersome process to and fro, and is done by the company. All repairs, whatever is done on these assets is something which the company takes care of. So you just put in the investment and you get fixed returns. And the minimum investment starts 25 lakhs, and it can go as high as whatever that amount, 1 crore, 2 crore. And we also have a lot of HNIs who have given us their interest for making a higher investment. So based on the investment you want to make, we can maybe tailor make your returns and share it with you. And this is something which is open pan India. You need not be from a specific city location. Aapne kuch stock nahi karna. You don't need a warehouse. The entire investment logistics is something which the company takes care of. So very quickly, I'll see if I see any question. I think most of the questions were around the investment, the minimum investment. So friends, I'll request all of you, because of the paucity of time, we cannot take a lot of questions. All right, one thing, Ron, if you want to answer, is a question from Mr. Prashant Agarwal, whether we will be secured creditor is the question.
So how the investment works is, this model is more of a sale of receivable kind of a model, in which case what ends up happening is Rentomojo will, just to give you a quick brief on this, it will be that we'll procure the assets from the vendors, they will be sold off to a leasing company and leased back from the leasing company. So you'll get receivables against the leasing company. Receivables will ultimately be what will be bought by you. Now in this, how the transaction works is that there are a couple of securities, right? One is the fact of the whole business model itself, which, like Sonia just mentioned, we are able to easily generate around 3 to 3.5x over a 4-year period on the asset value. Now, in this case, the business itself has been able to prove over the last 4-5 years that we have a very good debt repayment capacity, and in fact, turning profitable just goes to show that we are able to sort of improve the margins even further. So coming from that, that's the one security. Second idea behind it is that you guys will have a charge, first, an exclusive charge on the assets which are underlying to those investments. So for example, let's say you put a 25 lakh investment. Against that, you will get 25 lakhs worth of assets, which will be charged exclusively to you. So in the case of, let's say, non-repayment tomorrow, there are 3 parts which ultimately flow in. One is like we showed earlier, that in case we're defaulting 3 times, you have the right to call your principal back. Second is the fact that you guys can ultimately, if you're not able to repay the principal, take charge of these assets and look to liquidate them or use them in any way possible. That would be the second benefit over here. And third benefit is that in a worst case scenario, in case all these 3 don't work, then you will be an operational creditor for the company.
Sure, Rohan, very, very good. Friends, I'll request all of you, we have captured all the questions that you have, and I'll request if we can one-to-one discussion call that we can align tomorrow with all of you. Thank you so much, Rohan, and thank you so much, Ketan, for being with us. And I also wish you safe travels. I believe you're already ready to fly. So safe travels.
Thank you so much, Sonia. Thank you, Rohan. Thank you, Vikas. And thank you, everybody, for your time.
Thank you, guys.
We look forward to having conversations with all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sonia, ma'am. Let me now introduce from another big good brand from INSD, Mr. Sujay. You can share your screen, Mr. Sujay.
Sanjay ji, very good afternoon to you. I know you're also at one of our events in Delhi, and thank you for making to the webinar. And friends, INSD is a leading arts, design, media, and a luxury school. They have been operating for more than a decade now. And it is not just a fashion school, but a very inclusive approach they have. They're a complete design school, which is offering courses in animation, graphics, jewelry, interior, furnishing, fashion, and all that is UGC approved. And they also have a dual degree program to diploma. So wide range of programs which they do. And most important, they also have credible affiliations, which include the International Business School at Washington, Design School in London, Paris, UAE, where the students get a very big international exposure. And many of their students have also been absorbed in all these countries. And so the company is providing experiential learning through industry-focused courses. And Sanjay ji has been a veteran. He has been working directly with many franchisees, and I've been looking at many videos he has been sharing with us, for the existing centers, and some of the biggest centers they have been running in Pune, in Delhi, many locations. In fact, Delhi, they're running their own, and looking at partners all across India today. So I'll request Sanjay ji, without taking more time, if you can brief our audience on the opportunity that we are presenting. Over to you, Sanjay ji.
Thank you, Sonia, for such a great introduction. And I welcome all of you to this great webinar organized by Franchise India. So as Ms. Sonia has given you a small brief about International School of Design, the only thing I would like to start with is that we started this college with a dream to reach out to each and every student pan-India to impart skill development and to impart knowledge to the students in way where the knowledge could be professional, the knowledge could be, authentic, and the knowledge could be credible. So the idea behind starting International School of Design was to kind of look at this particular department or look at this particular side of the business where there was, you can say, there was dearth of good quality education, there was dearth of good quality, talented, skilled people, which were required by the industry. And guys, you will be surprised to know that the industry we are catering to is a $60 billion industry in India. And every year, about 5 lakh trained students are required by the industry professionals. As you know, that a lot of international brands are now approaching India to start their ventures, to start their operations, but they do not find skilled people in India whom they can employ. So that is where International School of Design came in, and that is where we started our journey about 10 years back. And today, by God's grace, we are present in about 19 states with 50 plus centers. And we are catering to 5 premium courses, which are fashion, interiors, jewelry, textiles, graphics, and animation. So basically, it was an amalgamation of a design school and a graphic and animation school. When we talk about these 6 programs, we are actually talking about each and every student who passes their 12th standard. They would like to do a graduation in a program where they would like to make a career, because doing a normal BA or a BCom course would not be that great, right? You know that you don't get a career just by doing a BA or a BCom program. So that is where we started this particular concept of giving degrees, or started giving bachelor's and master's degrees in our own courses, which were in fashion, which were in interiors and different design programs. And today, having said that, today we have 15,000 students who have already graduated, and more centers are starting up in the country, and we are catering to these particular segments in a big way. Because nowadays, if you see that, there is a big decline in students going in for engineering, or students going in for the traditional courses which were offered many years back. Today, a student who passes their 12th standard, they want to do a professional course, so that by the time they finish their graduation, they are called professionals and not just simple graduates. So that is the kind of target audience which we have. So if I tell you my size of the target audience which we cater to, all the 10th standard pass students can do diploma programs with us. All the 12th standard students pass can do bachelor's with us. All the graduates can do masters with us. So if you see the size of this industry, it is very big. And the best part of our kind of the franchise proposal, which we have introduced in collaboration with Franchise India, is that just by spending a mere 16 lakh rupees, you can start an INSD center in your city. So that is the beauty of this program, and that is the beauty of this particular project, that you can start an INSD center which runs for generations to generations once you start the center. So if I give you a brief nutshell about this particular project, it is divided into 3 different segments. The first segment is definitely the model, the business model, in which the investment starts at rupees 16 lakhs. The rupees 16 lakhs is divided into 2 parts. That is 10 lakh rupees is for the infrastructure, and 6 lakh rupees is paid for the franchise fee. The space requirement is between 2,000 to 3,000 square feet of space, which could be in a commercial or a semi-commercial area. This is the requirement in terms of space and in terms of investment. Now coming to the revenue side.
Sanjay ji,
At a
are you
mere-
putting your presentation, because आपका presentation नहीं दिख रहा है. I'm not too sure if you've put a presentation on the screen.
Actually, Sonia, to be honest with you, all this is handled by Pranav, and I
Okay.
don't know how to share the screen or something. I will explain the project, and
All
no,
right.
I will try to explain it in a way where all the things are very clear to all the investors.
Sure.
So don't worry about it. I'm going to take it step by step.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. So as I told you, that the first step is the investment part, which is 16 lakhs. The second is the space requirement part, which is about, as I told you, it is 2,000 to 3,000 square feet. And third comes the revenue model. So in the revenue model, I can explain you in a very brief manner that even if any center starts with 4 different courses in the beginning, and they get only 15 students each, they make a turnover of about 60 lakhs in the very first year. So 16 lakhs versus 60 lakhs. 16 lakhs is the total investment they make in the initial phase, and 60 lakhs is the turnover they can look at in the very first year. So most of our centers have made their break even in the first 1.5 years, max to max 12 months, or I mean minimum 12 months and maximum 18 months. So that is the kind of business model we had made. And you will not believe that each and every center which started its journey 10 years back, they are still our partners. And if you go to our website, insd.edu.in, you will find the reviews of our partners, and you will see how happy they are. Somebody's rolling out with 500 students, somebody's rolling out with 200 students, somebody's rolling out with 400 students. So that is the kind of business which we made, and that is the kind of, you can say, success story which we have put in so far. And this is not the end, it is just the beginning. The target is to have 250 centers in the country. And the best way to go about this particular venture is to kind of look at the size of the market. In every city or every town in which you are putting up, you will see that there are thousands of students who pass their 12th standard every year, right? And all those 12th standard pass students will look for some graduation courses in your own city. And if they get a professional course like a BSc in fashion or a B design in interiors or a BSc in graphics, they would love to do these courses in comparison to a normal B or a BCom course. So that is the kind of program structure, or that is the kind of course structure which we have introduced in this particular model. And you will see that once you start this particular center, because there's a lot of hand holding which we do, and there is a lot of support which comes in from the head office. So the best part is that whenever you start this center, you are not doing this venture alone. You have a team of 30 to 40 people behind you who takes care of everything from start to finish. It starts from making the infrastructure, making all the fit outs, doing all the training, recruitment, and all the course curriculum, and each and every step of the way, you can say that. So basically, when we talk about an INSD center, a model INSD center, we always say that we start with 3 or 4 courses, and that is how we gradually elevate to the other programs. So the best part of this course is, the best part of this model is that at a mere investment of 16 lakhs, you can get your break even in the very first year, and there is an assured rollover business from second year onwards. I'll explain you how I'm talking about the assured rollover business. That is the main beauty of this business. That suppose in the first year you get 60 students. Out of those 60 students, around 45 to 50 students would be in your long-term programs, like 2-year, 3-year, 4-year programs. So when you begin your second year, you will already be sitting with 45 to 50 students. And if your growth is 0% and you again get 60, you will still touch a figure of 110, 120 in the very second year. So you can see the kind of escalation you have in merely a short period of 1 or 2 years. So that is the beauty of this business, that whenever you start a center, you start small, you start with 50, 60 students, but within a 2-3 year span, you scale it up to 200, 300, 400 students. So when I say 400 students, I'm talking about a turnover of about 3 to 4 CR. The average fees of per student which we charge from the students is between 80,000 to 1 lakh rupees. So the basic, if you say the per unit cost or the per student fees which an investor receives is about 90,000 rupees. So you can simply multiply 90,000 rupees with the number of students studying in your center, and that is your revenue. So even if we take a mere figure of 50 students in the first year, in a multiplication of 90,000, you make 45 lakh rupees in the very first year. And this business is running, or this business grows substantially with the years to come because of the rollover business. So if I put the whole thing in a nutshell, it is starting a center with 2 to 3,000 square feet, investing about 16 lakh rupees. All the technical support, all the professional support, all the other support is given to the investors by the company. We work hand in hand in making that particular center in your city. All the recruitment is done by our team. All the training is done by our team. There is a lot of marketing support which is given by the head office. So that is how we have planned the whole structure. And my dear friends, we are already running with about 50 centers in the country, and 15,000 students have already graduated from International School of Design. So that is a basic nutshell of this particular project. If any of you have any questions, I would be happy to answer.
Okay, thank you so much, Sanjay ji. Friends, if you have any questions, please reach out to us. And also, we would be happy to share the entire presentation with you. We have a detailed presentation that talks about the opportunity, the courses, and also detailed working on the investment breakup and the overall operating expenses. So, Sanjay ji, just to start with a couple of questions which I would take, and there's one question which I see coming from Mr. Prashant Agarwal is on the royalty that we charge. That is his question. Yeah, and then I'll take a couple from my end.
Sure. Mr. Prashant, we charge a 15% royalty on all the courses we offer. So we have two segments in our programs. One is, as I mentioned, that we have degree programs. So in all the degree programs, there is a particular fees which goes to the university, which is 22,000 rupees per student per year, which goes to the university. Apart from suppose I'll give you an example that suppose we are charging 1 lakh rupees from a student. So out of that 1 lakh rupees, 22,000 rupees will be paid to the university as a university fee, through which the university will give the mark sheets, the diplomas, the degrees and all the documents. So out of that 1 lakh rupees, 22,000 rupees will be deducted as a university fee, and 15% royalty will be charged on the balance amount. That is the 78,000 rupees which is pending, which is, after deduction. The 15% royalty will be charged on 78,000, not on the complete 1 lakh rupees. So that is 15% royalty on all the degree programs. And for all the diploma programs which you run, it is a flat royalty of 20%. So in the diploma programs, when we charge a fee of about 80 to 85,000, the total royalty fee is 20% of the total fee, the gross fee you receive from the student.
Helpful. Sanjay ji, एक और question है which is on the placement asked by Mr. Vikas Prajapati ji, and I will also club maybe another question together so that we can answer that.
Sure.
Typically how many students you would advise if you look at maybe 60%, 80%, 100% efficiencies, how many students ideally a center should have? And second, how long does it take for a center to bring these number of students? Because this is very seasonal and there are months in the year where you have a higher intake of students in the center.
See, Sonia, the best part of this business is that people feel that it's a seasonal business, but it is not. I'll tell you how. When we talk about, I'll answer the question in two different parts so that it's easier to understand. I will first talk about how you generate revenue and why and how the student comes to your institute, right? So when we talk about the intake is twice a year. The normal intake, which everyone knows, is the intake which happens in April, May, June, right? After the students pass their 12th standard exams, usually all the final exams happen in the month of March, and that is where the students start coming in and start taking admissions. So usually the admissions, the major admissions start in the month of March, and they go up to October. So there are two sessions which the first one which I just mentioned is called the academic year, and there is another session which is called the calendar year, which starts in January. So the first segment which I just mentioned, it starts in March and it finishes in September, October. So all the admissions that start in March, they go on till September. And after September, from the month of October, we start taking intakes for the January batch. So from October, November, December, January, March, from October to March again, we take intakes in the January batch. So 60% of our revenue is generated in the academic session, and 40% revenue is still generated in the January session. So all throughout the year, we keep getting admissions, and there is different segment of the people who come in to take admissions. All the 12th standard pass students, all the 10th standard pass students come to us in the July session, the March, April, May, June session. And all the graduates, all working professionals, all housewives, they come to us in the January session, which is also a big number. Let me tell you. I mean, whenever we take an ROI, we simply tell our investors that at a mere 45 students, you get your entire money back with you. You invested 16 lakh rupees, and even if I take a monthly reckoning expense of 2 lakh rupees a month, out of which I include the rentals, I include the salaries, everything, even 2 lakh rupees a month. So 24 lakhs plus 16 lakhs is about 40 lakh rupees. If it's just a mere 50 students, you get a turnover of a revenue of 45 lakhs. And this is not the end of the story. You get an assured rollover business from the second year onwards.
Correct.
So if you see the business model in a nutshell, that whatever money you've invested or whatever expenses you made in the entire year, you get it back in the very same year. And you are on zero capital investment from the second year itself. Your money is back to you. So that is the beauty of this business. And then you run this business for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. There is no stopping. And no, the best part in any business, which when you run a school or college, it is that as you grow in that particular city, or as your credibility grows in that city, you don't have to spend too much on your marketing, because people know you by now. People know you in 2 to 3 years. My Pune center, they clocked about 650 admissions in 2021-22 admissions. We have 7 centers in Mumbai, and each of the centers, they make a turnover of 2 to 3 CR every year. And they also started the same way, which I'm just mentioning. They also started a center by investing 16 lakh rupees. And today, every year they fetch 2 to 3 CR rupees, and the expenses are still the same. They still spend 2 lakh rupees every month. The investment they made on the infrastructure is already recovered. the amount of money they paid for the franchise fee, it is back to them, in the very first year. So what I'm trying to tell you here is that it's a business which is connected with passion, and it's a business which is connected with, you can say, a lot of loyalty and a lot of honesty. We may not be very good businessmen, because we don't sell numbers, or we don't sell a project like that. We've never done that, actually. So maybe we were not ready with our presentations, or my son used to do all this stuff. But we are simple businessmen, right? We talk straight. We say that this is the amount of money which you need to invest, and this is the amount of money you will make with us in the very first 2 years. I'm not talking about projections of 10 years. I'm just talking about 2 to 3 years, that within 2 to 3 years, you get a good number, you get your money back with you, and you still are running a credible college, or a credible institute in your city, and you're training hundreds and thousands of people, and see the kind of image building for yourself and the noble cause you're attached to in your own city. So it's a beautiful venture for people who are passionate about education, and they want to give it back to the society and also make money in return. So that is it.
Absolutely, yeah. Very well presented. And friends,
Thank
I'll
you.
request all of you, if you want to interact directly with Sanjay ji, we'll patch a call in the coming week, starting Monday. And I see Prashant ji asking if there are any centers in Bombay. Yes, Prashant ji, there is a center running already in Bombay. And we
have 7 centers. We have 7 centers in Mumbai.
And one of the franchisees, I was seeing a video. She's also looking at adding another center because of.
She's from the Andheri center. If Mr. Prashant Devi is from Mumbai, he can go and he can just type INSD Andheri on Google and just go and visit the center. It's in the Star building. I mean, there's a famous gym there where all the film stars come in, and it is right in the same building. And you just need to type INSD Andheri. So we have a center in Kandivali, we have a center in Mulund, we have a center in Andheri, then we have a center in Thane, then Navi Mumbai, and Kurla. So these are the 7 centers we have in Mumbai. Pune, we have 3 centers. One is Deccan, one is Kothurud, and one is Baler Badiwadi. So, I mean, there are a lot of other centers in a lot of other countries: Kolkata, Hyderabad, Bangalore, North India, South India. So it's spread over. So I mean, all I can say is you can visit our website, insd.edu.in, and you will get all the information. And if you have any questions, we are always very happy to answer them.
Thank you so much, Sanjay ji. Friends, I'll request we'll put a hotline number. We'll also put our email ID. You can reach out to us and our teams, and they have centers across India. So we'll help you with the entire presentation and we'll also connect one-to-one. Thank you so much, Sanjay ji, for being with us.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It was great interacting with all of you. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Sanjay ji, for joining us today. It was our privilege to represent your brand, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Now we are bringing the brand which comes from Maharashtra, and it's a retail opportunity for all of you. It is my privilege to invite Mr. Gajanan, who is representing the brand Nuts and Flakes. Thank you so much, sir, for joining in. May we request to start with the presentation from your side?
I will take you through the Nuts and Flakes background and each and everything required to set up a business of Nuts and Flakes. Basically, the history of Nuts and Flakes is we started in 2018 as a couple of products in cookies and jaggery related products. And so evolution of products and then distribution and in market we were going, and we found that there was a need of healthy and nutritious products, and we started adding multiple products into it. Then we decided to have a range of product and start EBO model, exclusive brand store of each and everything, whichever is healthy, found in traditional way or a non-traditional way, modern way. So we added product around 50 to 60 product and started our operations in Feb 2020 from one outlet in Maharashtra. So that is a small background of Nuts and Flakes. Then we started this with entire motto that why Nuts and Flakes. So Nuts and Flakes, we made a commitment of healthy, nutritious, and authentic food item. Make sure it is preservative free, chemical free, additive free, and sugar free, or any content which is not good for health. Like for example, vanaspati ghee or maida or such kind of products also we started avoiding in our products. So this is the background of Nuts and Flakes. I will quickly come to our product range. Current product range is we are having around 8 categories of products: nuts, then dry fruits, flakes, spices, healthy seeds, and there are multiple innovative products like different type of flakes like jowar flakes, bajra flakes, cookies, ragi cookies, jowar cookies, gehu cookies. Uh, some different type of traditional products. Some products are from Kerala region, some products from Maharashtra region, some are there. We added it from MP and this thing where our grandmothers used to prepare and feed it to us without preservative. So our concept is that anything should be without preservative, without chemical, and without this thing. So now last month we launched another 8 flavors of milkshakes which are not natural, sugar free, and preservative free. So our team is continuously developing products which are good or healthy for our customers. So, and currently we are having 6 outlets in Pune, located in Baner, Pimpla Saudagar, Ravet, Nanded City, then Wanauri, Dhole Patil Road, etc. So there are 6 outlets currently we are having it in Pune itself, and we are working on multiple options in other cities of Maharashtra as well. Okay, then let's come to the investment and break even and this. So investment of total, we have 3 models basically. One is kiosk model, which we are giving it in malls and such places. Then we have a store model, and now we launched a mixed model also, where you will get the benefit of kiosk as well as store. So let me explain what is kiosk, what is store, and what is a mixed model. Kiosk is basically to serve prepared food like milkshakes made up of natural things and fast moving products, where we will keep around 30 to 40 products along with milkshake. So this is a kiosk model where you will have to invest around 5 to 8 lakh rupees into this model, because the space required and investment is lesser for this. However, our condition is you will have to open it in malls only. Second is store model, where you will require around 300 to 400 square feet space. At least like 300 has to be there. So you can set up a store model where you will be keeping our 170 plus products in your store, including all the categories, where milkshakes will not be there because you need additional space, additional serving area and all. So kiosk and store model. And third is mixed model, where we will say all 170 products will be there, plus ready to serve or ready to eat products will be there, like milkshake and all. So we are coming up with different frozen products also in future. In another couple of months, we will be in a different type of pulps, fruit pulps basically, where no preservative, no chemical, no sugar will be added into it. So we are going to keep all these in mixed model, where you can readily serve to the customer as well as this. However, the space required for this model is minimum 400 square feet to 500 square feet. So these are the three models we do have. And for mixed model, we will require the investment of 12 lakh to 15 lakh rupees. And in store model, we need an investment of 10 to 12 lakh rupees. So this is the investment part. Let's come to ROI or break even. Our break even, as this is a food industry related products or outlets, our break even will come in 3 to 6 months only. Mostly what we observed in past experiences, within 3 months we have received our break-even point, where you will start getting profits after 3 months itself. But however, by commitment we say 3 to 6 months, and ROI will come within a 20 to 24 months from your outlet, because you are not investing a huge amount. It's a 10 to 12 lakh rupees is your investment, of 12 to 15 lakh rupees investment, which will come easily from this 2 years, maximum 2 years. And that's what we observed it from our company-owned outlet as well as franchises and this, and then only we started this giving franchises to the outside people like you now. So this is what is details of nuts and flakes. I will happy to answer questions if you have any. Please go ahead.
Gajasni, thank you so much for sharing about nuts and flakes. Definitely, it's an upcoming opportunity for on the franchise front. So, what all locations you are open for?
It's in Pune, Baner, then Pimple Saudagar, Ravet, then Nanded City, Wanauri, and Dhole Patil Road, which is in Shivaji Nagar.
And what are the area of expansion you're looking for? New opportunity for an area?
New opportunity, we are basically initially would like to go for Maharashtra or certain metro cities of India. But our first target is to expand it in nearby cities like Mumbai, Nashik, Aurangabad, Kolhapur, Satara, Sangli, and this side. So our first target is to expand our franchises in this area, and then we would like to go for outside Maharashtra.
Definitely. And what kind of investors you are looking for? Who could be a right choice getting into this kind of a business?
That's really a great question, Vikas. The investor has to be enthusiastic of healthy food, to sell healthy food, who can convince their customers why you should choose this premium quality and healthy food products, who should be basically a lover of healthy food. That's type of customers we are looking for. And this is a future of industry is packaged food only. Okay, even now, if you go to any grocery shop or any shop, you will mostly find each and everything is packaged, and none of our product is we are selling it in loads. Even in future, we are going to sell milkshake and this also in the can. That's what is a plan. We are in trial session right now. So everything our franchises will sell in packaged foods. So there will not be any loss of franchises, any kind of misuse or this thing will happen by their employees or this thing. So the investors who would like to even invest and cannot give the time to store, they can also run. And investor who are really enthusiastic lover of healthy food product, premium product, they can also run the franchise.
Thank you so much, Gajaranji. Guys, anyone having any question, they can connect with us on the Franchise India toll-free number and on the email ID shared. Thank you so much, Gajaranji.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vikas. Thanks, Gajananji. Now we are bringing the brand, which again comes from the land of Maharashtra, and we are inviting Mr. Sumedh, who is representing the brand Ansi Wellness. Thank you so much for joining in today. May we request to have a presentation from your side?
Yeah. 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 Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dinesh here from Ansa Wellness. We are talking about the spine clinics, and here we have a presentation. So this is the American technology, and am I audible?
Yeah.
Hello.
You are audible, Dinesh. You are,
Okay.
you are
Yeah.
audible.
Thank you.
You are audible.
Yeah. This is 100% non-surgical treatment. It's widely used in developed country, America, London, Canada, Australia, more than 25 years. Okay. And Vikaji, presentation, it's live, right?
Yeah, it's visible. It's visible.
Yeah. Thank you. So more than 35 years, the treatment is widely used in developed country. So we are the first who brought this technology to India, right? ये क्या है कि जो नेक पेन बैक पेन जो होता है ऑर्थोपेडिक सर्जन सर्जरी के लिए बोलते हैं उनके लिए ये बेस्ट ऑप्शन है इसमें ना मेडिसिन है ना इंजेक्शन है ना ऑपरेशन है ना एडमिट होना पड़ता है ना एनेस्थीसिया लेना पड़ता है कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव भी है तो ये हमने मुंबई में लॉन्च किया है हमारे मल्टीपल सेंटर्स हैं अभी 2019 में अंसा वेलनेस हमने स्टार्ट किया है राइट मोर देन 2500 पेशेंट्स को हमने ट्रीट किया है सक्सेसफुली राइट हमारे मल्टीपल सेंटर जो है मुलुंड वाशी गोरेगांव कल्याण हैदराबाद नागपुर यहाँ पर लोकेशंस है ये फर्स्ट जनरेशन की मशीन थी अभी हाईटेक मशीन आ गई पूरे रिमोट के साथ टच स्क्रीन के साथ तो मोटे तौर पे जो स्पाइनल बैक पेन नेक पेन के जो कंडीशंस है जो रहते हैं वो डिस्क पैथोलॉजिक रहते हैं वो इसमें सब आते हैं जैसे कि हर्निएटेड डिस्क डीजेनरेटिव डिस्क डिजीज पेरिफेरल रेटिकुलोपैथी फेल्ड बैक सर्जरी सर्वाइकल स्पॉन्डिलोसिस बल्जिंग डिस्क सियाटिका कंप्रेस्ड डिस्क ये सभी कैटेगरी के जो प्रॉब्लम्स है जैसे कि 95% के कैटेगरी में आते हैं और वो हम सब ट्रीट करते हैं डॉक्टर जोसेफ कैमेरेटा जो स्पाइन स्पेशलिस्ट है यूएस में 35 साल से ट्रीटमेंट दे रहे हैं उन्होंने प्रोटोकॉल डिजाइन किया है ट्रीटमेंट का मल्टीपल रिसर्च स्टडीज की है उन्होंने और ये को फाउंडर है अंसा वेलनेस के प्रूवन रिजल्ट्स है लेफ्ट साइड पे अगर आप देखें तो स्पाइन का जो स्ट्रक्चर है राइट तो 1 नंबर में जहाँ पर डिस्क कंप्रेस होकर थोड़ी लीक आके डिस्क फट के नर्व जो है व्हाइट कलर की उसको कंप्रेस कर रही है इसकी वजह से पेन टिंगलिंग नमनेस होता है आमतौर पे इंडिया में ट्रीटमेंट क्या है मेडिसिन है इंजेक्शन है फिजियोथेरेपी है ट्रैक्शन है और कुछ नहीं हुआ तो सर्जरी है मगर कॉम्प्लिकेशंस बढ़ती जाती है पेशेंट को आराम नहीं मिलता मगर यहाँ पर हम जो टेक्नोलॉजी बोल रहे हैं वो ना मेडिसिन ना इंजेक्शन ना ऑपरेशन ना एडमिशन ना एनेस्थीसिया ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं देना है ये ट्रीटमेंट जो मशीनरी है अमेरिकन मशीनरी उस पर दिया जाता है और ये राइट साइड पे जो MRI रिपोर्ट है वो ट्रीटमेंट के बाद का है ताकि वो जो डिस्क लीक हो रही थी वो पूरा अंदर जाके नर्व को फ्री किया है मल्टीपल रिसर्च स्टडीज हुए यूएस में 97% ऑफ बल्जिंग एंड डीजेनरेटेड डिस्क आर हील्ड थ्रू नॉन सर्जिकल स्पाइनल डिकम्प्रेशन फ्रॉम अमेरिकन एकेडमी फॉर पेन मैनेजमेंट 86% ऑफ पेशेंट्स विथ हर्निएटेड और रप्चर डिस्क आर हील्ड थ्रू नॉन सर्जिकल स्पाइनल डिकम्प्रेशन ये भी मल्टीपल स्टडी जैसी हुई अमेरिका में वहां पर पब्लिश किया है वैसे इंडिया में मल्टीपल स्टडीज हुई है अभी अपॉर्चुनिटीज इंडिया में क्या है लार्ज पॉपुलेशन सफरिंग फ्रॉम बैक पेन हम देखते हैं कि बाइकर्स है 4-व्हीलर कार ड्राइवर्स है जो सेडेंटरी वर्क करते हैं आजकल तो छोटे छोटे बच्चे भी जिम में जाके ज्यादा वेट उठाते हैं सर्वाइकल नंबर में ज्यादा प्रेशर आने के कारण बल्जिंग डिस्क सियाटिका ये हो जाता है या सेडेंटरी वर्क करते हैं मतलब हर किसी के घर में या कोई फ्रेंड सर्कल में कोई ना कोई किसी को सीवियर नेक पेन बैक पेन होता ही रहता है यहाँ पर हमारे पास ऐसे बहुत सारे केसेस आते हैं जो फेल्ड बैक सर्जरी है या सर्जरी करते कुछ कॉम्प्लिकेशंस हुए उनको भी अच्छा हम ट्रीट कर सकते हैं अभी तक तो नो इफेक्टिव ट्रीटमेंट फॉर सर्वाइकल स्पॉन्डिलोसिस पूरे इंडिया में इससे बेहतर अभी ट्रीटमेंट ही नहीं थे ज्यादातर पाया गया है कि एपिडुरल एनेस्थीसिया गिवन टू वुमेन ऑफन कॉज बैक पेन मतलब महिलाओं को डिलीवरी के समय में जो इंजेक्शन दिया जाता है उस एनेस्थीसिया का, उसके बाद बैक पेन बहुत ज्यादा होता है, उसके लिए भी बहुत ही बढ़िया ट्रीटमेंट है। यहाँ पर लोकल लेवल से लेकर सेलिब्रिटी तक या एथलेटिक्स यहाँ पर या फॉरेन नेशनल्स भी यहाँ पर इंडिया में मुंबई में आके ट्रीटमेंट लेते हैं। जैसे कि अमित टंडन है, टीवी एक्टर सिंगर, इंडियन आइडल में वो भी थे। 2 साल वो बैक पेन से मतलब परेशान थे, मेडिसिन लिए, इंजेक्शंस लिया, यूएस में भी अलग अलग जगह पर ट्रीटमेंट लिया। सर्जरी के बाद मतलब सर्जरी उनको ऑप्शन दिया था मगर वो भी नहीं हुआ, मगर वो हमारे यहाँ पर आके ट्रीटमेंट लेने के बाद अभी वो बिल्कुल ठीक है और एक्सरसाइज करते हैं, सब कुछ अच्छा है। ये मोहम्मद कादरी तंजानिया, जो कंट्री के हमें नाम भी पता नहीं थे, वहां से पेशेंट ये ट्रीटमेंट के लिए आते हैं। मोहम्मद कादरी का केस ऐसे कि वो स्टेरॉइड का इंजेक्शंस लेके भी वो प्रॉपर्ली बैठ नहीं सकते कि विद इन 2 सेशंस वो ट्रीटमेंट से वो ठीक हो गए। अभी फ्रेंचाइजी मॉडल जो है, यहाँ पर हम क्या करते हैं, नॉर्मली फ्रेंचाइजी जो है हम 40 लाख में सेल करते हैं। उसमें जो भी मशीन्स लगेगा, अमेरिकन मशीन जो है या पेशेंट को ट्रीट करने के लिए जो भी मशीन लगेगा, उसका असेंबलिंग, पैकिंग, क्रेटिंग, एयर शिपमेंट, इंपोर्ट ड्यूटी, लोकल ट्रांसपोर्टेशन से लेके यहाँ पर इंस्टॉलेशन तक, वो उसमें 40 लाख में इंक्लूडेड है विथ 5 years की रिपेयर, मेंटेनेंस, गारंटी, वारंटी ऑल्सो। जैसे कि मशीन का हम ऑर्डर करते हैं, उसके साथ साथ ही वो क्लिनिक के लिए जो लगेगा स्टाफ, ऑर्थोपेडिक सर्जन पार्ट टाइम 2 फिजियोथेरेपिस्ट, टेक्नीशियंस, मेल एंड फीमेल रिसेप्शनिस्ट, इनको हम आपके एरिया से हायर करके मुंबई में आके ट्रेनिंग देते हैं और कुछ दिन हमारे सेंटर में काम करते हैं, मल्टीपल सेंटर में, ताकि आपका जब तक सेंटर तैयार ना हो विद इन 1 month वो वहाँ पर रेडी हो जाते काम करने के लिए। एड मार्केटिंग हो हम ही करते हैं। जैसे कि फ्रेंचाइजी मैनुअल्स है, हमारे सब सॉफ्टवेयर है जो पेशेंट का डेली शेड्यूल रहता है, डेली में कितने पेशेंट्स आए, कितने ट्रीटमेंट किए, कितने कंसल्टेशन किए, कितने पेमेंट किया है, कितना पेमेंट किया है, और उसमें प्रोडक्ट कितने सोल्ड हुए हैं, उसका सारा शीट्स वहाँ पर ऑटोमेटिक वहाँ पर आ जाता है। जैसे कि हम 50,000 चार्ज करते हैं एड एंड मार्केटिंग के लिए, तो यहाँ पर 100 नए स्पाइन के पेशेंट हर क्लिनिक में हम बेचते हैं। जैसे कि मैंने कहा कि यहाँ पर हम मशीनरी प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं, स्टाफ ट्रेन प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं, उसके साथ साथ हम पूरे हर महीने में नए स्पाइन के प्रॉपर सर्वाइकल या लंबर के पेशेंट्स भेजते हैं। तो ये मैं फाइनेंशियल अभी दिखाना चाहता हूँ। अगर हम सब यहाँ पर प्रॉपरली लीड्स या पेशेंट्स वहाँ पर भेज रहे हैं, तो 100 में से अगर 15 भी पेशेंट अगर ट्रीटमेंट लेते हैं आपके यहाँ पर, पूरे महीने का रेवेन्यू होता है 11.25 लाख। उसमें से जो आपका एक्सपेंसेस है, रेंट, सैलरी, रॉयल्टी और ये एडर मार्केटिंग का जो खर्चा है वो भी निकल जाए तो 3-3.5 लाख अगर वो भी जाता है तो ऑलमोस्ट 6-7 लाख रुपया महीने का रेवेन्यू होता है, आई मीन प्रॉफिट आपको हो जाता है। 15 अगर पेशेंट 6 महीने तक करते हो तो 67 लाख होता है। 15 पेशेंट्स अगर पूरे साल में करते हो तो 1.35 करोड़ का बिजनेस होता है। मोटे तौर पर अगर कहा जाए तो अगर 5 years का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट भी अगर हम करते हैं प्रॉपरली तो 6 करोड़ का रेवेन्यू वहां पर आ जाता है। यस, क्वेश्चन है? हेलो,
Yeah, Dinesh, your PPT is gone.
या तो ये जो टेक्नोलॉजी है, ट्राई टेस्टेड टेक्नोलॉजी है, पिछले 35 सालों से डेवलप कंट्री में हुई है। और यहाँ पर मल्टीपल जो लोग हैं, कोविड के पहले तो पेशेंट कनाडा, ईस्ट अफ्रीका, तंजानिया, मोज़ाम्बिक, इराक, ईरान वहां से आते थे। अभी हमारा जो प्रेजेंस है मुंबई में, महाराष्ट्र से अच्छा है।
दिनेश जी, आपकी
पेशेंट दिल्ली,
PPT बन गई है। दिनेश जी, आपकी PPT is removed.
हाँ, पीपीटी मतलब जैसी कि हो गई, मैंने इसलिए मिनिमाइज किया था। हाँ हाँ, तो ये जो है फ्रेंचाइजी को हम ये प्रॉपरली ट्रीटमेंट, डिवाइस, इक्विपमेंट्स हम देते हैं, स्टाफ ट्रेनिंग हम करते हैं, पेशेंट भी हम बेचते हैं। फ्रेंचाइजी को वहां पर बैठ के प्रॉपरली मॉनिटर करना है। ये क्लिनिक की फ्रेंचाइजी लेने के लिए आपको डॉक्टर या फिजियोथेरेपिस्ट होना ही चाहिए, ऐसे नहीं है, क्योंकि उनके लिए जो लाइसेंस लगेंगे, जो स्टाफ लगेगा, हम प्रोवाइड करते हैं आपको, ऐसा है।
Okay, thank you so much, Dinesh ji. It's a request. Anyone having any question can raise in the chat box. I will share it from here. अच्छा दिनेश जी, थोड़ा सा हमको बात करना पड़ेगा इन टर्म्स ऑफ सेटअप के हिसाब से, कितना बड़ा सेटअप से स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं और
अच्छा
मशीनरी का कॉस्टिंग कैसे आती है और कितनी मशीन्स लगती है वहां पे?
अच्छा अच्छा। सेटअप नॉर्मली एवरेज अगर देखा जाए तो 600 स्क्वायर फीट का सेटअप अच्छा है। ग्राउंड फ्लोर पे होना चाहिए। अगर ऊपर है, फर्स्ट सेकंड फ्लोर पे है, तो वहां पर लिफ्ट होनी चाहिए, राइट। और कॉस्टिंग, मशीनरी कॉस्टिंग लगभग इंपोर्ट ड्यूटी और सब ऐड करके ऑलमोस्ट 29 to 30 lakhs में हो जाता है ऐसा।
और इन टर्म्स ऑफ अगर कस्टमर अप्रोच के हिसाब से, वेर इन पीपल लुकिंग फॉर ट्रीटमेंट, तो आप सेंट्रली अपने एंड से उसको पास थ्रू करते हैं सेंटर्स पे, और फ्रेंचाइज सेंटर, हाउ इट विल डन इन
ऐसा है
टर्म्स
कि
ऑफ?
जैसे कि अपना एग्रीमेंट होता है, उसी दिन से हम एड और मार्केटिंग पर्टिकुलर एरिया में हम स्टार्ट करते, जैसे कि हरियाणा में अभी लास्ट मंथ में एग्रीमेंट हुआ था, राइट। तो जैसे एग्रीमेंट हुआ तो हमने मशीन के लिए ऑर्डर भी किया और एड मार्केटिंग भी स्टार्ट की, और वो क्लिनिक या सेंटर स्टार्ट होने से पहले ऑलमोस्ट मोर देन 200 लीड्स हमारे पास आ गई। तो उस पर काम करना शुरू हो गया। तो पहले दिन से जब सेंटर स्टार्ट होता है, ओपनिंग में डे में 15-20 पेशेंट्स वहां पर आने चाहिए। दैट्स अवर मेन टारगेट रहता है। और उसमें से 3-4 पेशेंट भी अगर कन्वर्ट हो गए ट्रीटमेंट के लिए, तो पूरा महीने का खर्चा वो निकल जाता है।
ओके, और एज ए फ्रेंचाइज सेंटर पैनलिस्ट में डॉक्टर्स और नर्सेस किस रेंज में रहते हैं वहां पे, और किस डिग्री तक पे रहते हैं वहां पे?
डॉक्टर जो है वो ऑर्थोपेडिक सर्जन, वो पार्ट टाइम रहते हैं वहां पर, राइट। फिजियोथेरेपिस्ट है, हम 2 हायर करते हैं, वो भी पार्ट टाइम 9 to 2, 2 to 7 ऐसा है। टेक्नीशियन और रिसेप्शनिस्ट इतने लगता है ऐसा।
वो सारा कंपनी करके देती है फ्रेंचाइजी को,
बिल्कुल
सपोर्ट
बिल्कुल,
द एंटायर
कंपनी
इकोसिस्टम फॉर
हायर
इट?
करके उनके साथ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करके उनको ट्रेनिंग देके उनसे, मतलब हमारे मल्टीपल सेंटर से में वहाँ पर जाके वहाँ पर वो एक्चुअली काम करते हैं और वो बाद में हम वहाँ पर प्लेस करते हैं ऐसा है। हम जब स्टार्ट ट्रेनिंग जब होती है इन मुंबई में हेडक्वार्टर, वहाँ पर ट्रेनिंग होती है और फिजिकल ट्रेनिंग भी होती है, प्लस ऑनलाइन अमेरिकन डॉक्टर उनको ट्रेनिंग देते हैं ऐसा।
ओके, और इन टर्म्स ऑफ आरओआई की अगर हम बात करते हैं, रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट,
तो कैसा है कि अभी तक जो भी हमने 7 सेंटर्स किए हैं, उनका आरओआई अगर देखा है, एक तो मतलब अभी स्टार्ट ही हुआ है अभी, मगर जो 6 सेंटर्स है ऑलमोस्ट उनका आरओआई है 12 मंथ के अंदर ही हुआ है।
और जगह का जो आइडेंटिफिकेशन है, वंस एनी फ्रेंचाइज से यस टू सम लोकेशन, सो आप उसको फाइनलाइज करते हैं, या फ्रेंचाइज कैन फाइनलाइज द लोकेशन एंड देन देयर दे कैन पुट इट?
म्यूचुअल हो जाता है। बहुत बार ऐसा होता है किसी के पास जगह है, मगर वो सुटेबल है कि नहीं वो भी देखना पड़ेगा। हमारे बैकएंड पे टीम है, वो सर्वे करते हैं वहां पर, अगर ये लोकेशन है तो वहां पर बेस्ट लोकेशन कौन सा होगा। आजू बाजू में हॉस्पिटल्स है, मेडिकल स्टोर्स है, या ग्राउंड फ्लोर में होना चाहिए, पार्किंग स्लॉट होना चाहिए, क्योंकि बहुत सारे पेशेंट व्हील चेयर या स्ट्रेचर पे आ जाते हैं, तो उनके लिए वो कुछ तकलीफ ना हो ऐसा।
I think so. We are getting some questions. Mr. Vikram Singh ji, can you please type your question in the chat box? I will just read from here. Vikram Singh ji ने हाथ रेज किया हुआ है, तो if you can just put up your question in the chat box. And no issues, Vikram ji. अगर आप you can want to connect, you can connect with us also directly on the Franchise India toll free number, hotline number, and parallelly you can send a mail also to us. And thank you, Dinesh ji, for sharing such an good opportunity for healing the patients suffering from back pain. Thank you so much.
Thank you Vikas, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining in today. Thanks. Take care, sir. Now we invite Mr. Pavan, who is representing the brand Prerna Ice Cream. They started their journey, and their journey is very, very inspirational for all of us. Thank you so much, Pavan, for joining in today. May we request to have a presentation from your side?
Yeah, hi. Hi, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to present our brand. Sorry, my PowerPoint presentation is not working, so therefore I'm only going to speak. So our journey started about 2 years ago, and it is, absolutely pure. When we started making ice creams 2 years ago, Prerna started making these ice creams. There was no brand in India which made ice creams without any chemicals or preservatives, and without stabilizers, without emulsifiers. So we actually use only the best and the most premium ingredients in our ice creams. And over the span of 2 years, we have grown to just making ice creams from the house. So today we retail at over 55 retail counters. We have our own company store in Phoenix Mall in Mumbai. We've got another kiosk here in Gurgaon, and the response is really overwhelming. Therefore, this is I mean, if you've noticed in the last 2 years, F&B industry has really, really grown a lot. And I would say this is the right time for everyone to kind of invest in pure, healthy, natural, made in India product and take it forward. Was I audible?
Yeah, Pawanji, you're audible. You're audible. We can hear you, Pawanji.
Yeah, so we are offering about 3 different formats for the franchise. We're offering a kiosk, which is a very, very low investment and an ROI in less than 14 to 15 months. We have the second model called as a parlor model, which is around 250 square feet space, where the ROI is in about 21 months. And the last would be the lounge or the bigger setup around 4 to 500 square feet. And there you can get your money back in about 25 months. So what we're offering is not just the ice cream. We're offering a premium experience. So it's what we do is we make sure that the customer comes first, and we are offering products like thick ice cream shakes. We have very pure and natural toppings, 10 to 15 of them. We've got India's first sorbet line, which is just the fruit, sugar, and frozen, nothing else, no third ingredient. We have ice cream lollipops, we've got ice cream bombs, we've got like really interesting, very, very unique products. So it's not just an ice cream brand or ice cream parlor where you just have a single scoop or a double scoop that we are offering. We are offering a lot of SKUs, a very innovative, very different products as well, in addition to your regular ice creams. So I'm sure that you all can really take this forward. And also, whenever you get time, for people who are in Mumbai or Delhi, please visit our stores, and you'll experience really a very, very good experience. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pawanji. There are few questions, which I will also like to take. So what is the expenses on the kiosk, parlor model and launch model? Investment cost?
Yeah, so the parlor model, we are looking at an investment of around anywhere between 6.5 to 8.5, 9 lakh rupees, depending on if it's their own space, then it's about 6.5 lakhs. If it is, you have to take space on rent and all, then if we count every single cost associated with that, that means the advance rental, the security deposit, and everything, then it can go up to about 9.5 lakhs. Coming to the parlor model, 250 square feet, same logic. It would be around 17 to 18 lakhs, going up to 20, 21 lakhs, depending on, again, if you have your own space versus the rented space. And lounge would be close to in the 30 lakh range.
So all the product within the brand, they will be centrally routed from the cloud kitchen, from the central kitchen, or there will be in a space or backend space in terms of manufacturing also?
So all the products will come delivered to the franchise, pre-packaged, so he just has to open the box and start scooping it out. All of them are going to come from only our centralized factory in Delhi, but it will be transported in the best conditions with dry ice and everything. We've tied up with the biggest cold chain partner in India. So nothing to worry about there on that front.
And just a question, what could be a shelf life of this product? For how long?
Anywhere between 4 months, as low as 4 months, to as much as 6 to 7 months.
4 to 5 months. It's by that time it can move out from the shelf also. Okay, there is
Sorry,
one question from Mr. Vikas Prajapati. There is one question. So how is this Prerna ice cream different from the natural ice cream? So he just want to have a comparison of it.
Yeah, that's a brilliant question. So let me answer that in the best possible way. There are various differences. The first one would be we have certain products in our basket which they don't. For example, we have India's first sorbet line, which means strawberry sorbet, pineapple, which means actual fruit with just sugar and less than 1 gram of fat, certified, which nobody else has. They only have ice cream. We have ice cream plus sorbet. Second differentiator would be we have products like ice cream bombs and ice cream lollipops, which they don't have. Third would be, which also is a very, very important point. We are, offering a very premium experience in terms of the toppings as well. Today, natural has hardly, I think, only one topping or two. We have more than 10 to 15. We have dried fruits. We've got, the trail mixes. We've got the dried fruit imported from Thailand. We've got certain raisins from Afghanistan. So our topping range. So that gives the franchise opportunity to earn additional revenue. We believe in selling an add-on product. So when somebody comes, it's not just a single scoop. We try to pitch them the topping. We try to pitch them the lollipops. We try to pitch them the additional add-on revenue products, which can add value to the potential franchise. So these are the main differentiating points.
Sure. Thank you so much. Prashantji, the brand name is Prerna Ice Cream. There was a question in the chat.
Yes, if you Google, I'll tell you, if you Google Prerna's ice cream or Prerna's handcrafted ice cream, there are so many articles, so many news publications that have covered us. I mean, on their own. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, almost every second day we get a call from some magazine or some publication that want to write about us. So if you just Google Prerna's handcrafted ice cream, you'll see a lot of articles.
Anyone looking? Want to go to the franchise store or any of your stores, which could be the nearest one from Bombay?
So like I said, our Mumbai, Phoenix Mall in Mumbai, Phoenix Market City, Kurla, Mumbai.
Sure. Thank you so much, Pawanji, for sharing such an detailed insight about the brand, and it's a wonderful opportunity for franchise model also. And it's a trusted thing in market. You already been in market for such a long time. Thank you so much, Pawanji.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
and thank you everyone for listening and joining in. Thanks
so much.
So thank you so much, Pavanji. Thank you so much, because that was the last opportunity we wanted to present to all our investors. Dear friends, still you wish to connect with us, please connect with us at our business hotline number, which is 97176-83838. Also write to us at feedback@franchiseindia.in. Thank you so much once again. Have a great Sunday ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much all.